She whispered, "Don't look, please." But when the human lifted the fabric, the secret etched into her skin stole his breath away. The station lights flickered like tired stars. Humanity's frontier outpost, Callicer Relay, floated at the edge of disputed alien space, a lonely fortress meant to watch borders that no one admitted existed. Ethan Vale had been stationed here for 3 years. 3 years of endless patrol logs, maintenance rosters, and the faint, gnawing silence of being too far from Earth. The war, if one could even call it that, was cold. Borders shifted on star maps, ships shadowed one another, and treaties were broken as often as they were signed. But no one expected her. She arrived in the middle of a storm, or what passed for one in space, a crippled vessel drifting, hull scorched, transponders erased. Ethan was part of the team ordered to bring the survivor aboard. The woman was unlike anything he had seen. Tall, graceful, features edged with alien symmetry, yet her eyes, violet, haunted, were unmistakably alive in ways that transcended species. She called herself Lyra. No surname, no rank. She spoke the trade tongue haltingly, refusing to answer when pressed about her origin. And always, she clutched the edges of the rough cloak she wore. The doctors cleared her. Malnourished, dehydrated, but otherwise unharmed. She refused quarters, insisting on sleeping in the cargo bay, close to her ruined vessel. Ethan, ever the reluctant Good Samaritan, ended up bringing her rations. That was how it started, the small exchanges, the quiet moments. He noticed how she never removed the cloak, never loosened the folds, even in the heat of the station. Once, when she stumbled, the fabric slipped just enough for him to glimpse faint lines glowing beneath her skin, like silver etched into flesh. When their eyes met, she whispered, almost panicked, "Please don't look." Ethan didn't push. But the image haunted him. Weeks passed. Rumors swirled. Some said she was a fugitive, others that she was bait from the enemy. The command council grew impatient. Orders came down. Lyra would be turned over to a neutral authority at the next port. The night before transfer, she came to him. Her voice trembled. "You must know before they take me." She pulled him into the shadow of the cargo bay, the hum of generators masking their words. Her cloak slipped slightly. Ethan swallowed hard. "Lyra, what is it you're hiding?" Her hands trembled as she gripped the cloth. "If I show you, everything changes. You will not see me the same." "Try me," Ethan said, more gently than he intended. Her lips parted, as though fighting some inner battle. Then, with deliberate slowness, she drew the cloak aside, exposing her collarbone, her chest. What he saw made his breath catch. Intricate glyphs glowed faintly beneath her skin, woven like constellations across her torso, spiraling around her heart. Not scars, not tattoos. Living script, pulsing softly, each symbol older than human civilization itself. Ethan whispered, "What are you?" Tears welled in her eyes. "Condemned. My people carved this upon me at birth. A vessel. A curse. The war you humans sense at your borders. It exists because of me." She explained. Her tribe believed in binding war spirits, ancient intelligences of fire and destruction. When she was a child, they branded her as the host for one. The glyphs were both prison and leash. She was meant to be unleashed in battle, her body burned as conduit for something greater and terrible. "But I fled," she said, voice breaking. "I could not let them use me. So I ran, across stars, hunted. If they find me, they will slaughter anyone who shelters me." Ethan stared, torn between disbelief and the visceral truth glowing across her skin. "So why show me?" "Because," she whispered, I cannot bear the weight alone anymore. I needed one soul to know me as more than a weapon. He should have reported it. He should have sounded the alarm. Instead, he found himself lifting a hand, brushing trembling fingers near the glowing script. Warmth radiated, alive, like touching the heartbeat of a star. You're not a weapon, he said softly. You're Lyra. She looked at him as though he'd spoken a forbidden miracle. The transfer never happened. When the alien ships came, sleek, blade-like hunters, Ethan understood. They hadn't come for the station. They had come for her. The council panicked, scrambling defenses. But the aliens sent no demand, no negotiation. Only fire. The station trembled under bombardment. Ethan ran, not to his post, but to the cargo bay. She stood waiting, cloak discarded, glyphs blazing with a brilliance that painted the walls. Her eyes locked on his. They will not stop unless I return. If I surrender, your people live. No, Ethan snapped. That's not surrender. That's slavery. You don't understand, she cried. The spirit inside me awakens with each battle. If I resist, the glyphs will shatter, and it will consume me. There is no escape. The hull shook violently. Ethan grabbed her shoulders. Then we make a new choice. Together. Her breath hitched. Together? He nodded. You said you needed one soul to see you. Fine. You've got mine. Now, let's make them regret underestimating us. For a heartbeat, silence. Then, slowly, her lips curved into a fierce, almost feral smile. What happened next became legend. Linked to Ethan's presence, her glyphs reacted differently. Instead of burning her alive, the script channeled energy outward, weaving with the station's failing shields. Where once she had been destined to be a weapon of her tribe, now she became something else, a shield for humanity. She stood at the viewport, light streaming from her body into the defense grid, and for every surge that threatened to overwhelm her, Ethan was there, grounding her, whispering steadying words. The alien fleet faltered. Their weapons turned against them, misfiring, collapsing in showers of flame. In hours, what should have been a slaughter became a retreat. When the smoke cleared, the council stared at Lyra with awe and fear. She had saved them, but Ethan knew the truth. She had not done it for them. She had done it because one human had seen her as more than a curse. That night, in the quiet aftermath, Ethan found her again in the cargo bay. She was curled against the wall, glyphs dim, exhaustion carving shadows under her eyes. Are you afraid of me now? She asked. He crouched beside her, shook his head. No. I'm afraid of a universe that would use you that way. But you? You're the bravest person I've ever met. Her eyes shimmered. She leaned closer, resting her head against his chest. For the first time, the markings on her skin pulsed not with violence, but with calm, like starlight in rhythm with his heartbeat. And in that moment, Ethan knew the war wasn't over, and neither was her struggle. But together, they had already rewritten destiny.